Hello, my name is Scott Bradley. This is the SNN Sports Football Voices podcast, and as always, you can find our episodes on YouTube and Spotify. And I'm over the moon to be joined by the one and only former Celtic player Bobby Petta. Bobby, how are we?
I'm good.
And we've got a lot to talk about, mate. You've had a fantastic career, and I want to start off talking about that. And I want to ask you, what was your earliest memory being a football fan?
Being a football fan, I remember just watching on BBC the FA Cup. I remember Man United when they played in the final, and I think Norman White had scored. He had a goalkeeper had green top on. I remember the goalkeeper was blonde. I can't remember his name, but he had no gloves. Those were the days when I had no gloves. Which those are the memories that I have, and also the amazing goals that were scored as a youngster who watched that. Some cracking goals that were scored. Not just England, but also some Italian football as well.
So what team did you actually grow up supporting?
Well, I was born in Rotterdam, moved outside of Rotterdam, and but Feyenoord is actually the main club that the majority of people support, especially in that area. But I must say that at the time I was playing better football, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell, but I liked for their style of play. They were the team back then. Now it's all changed, of course, but Feyenoord is a team which is kind of like similar to Celtic in the sense that let's put Ajax is like the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
Would be like the Rangers here, you know what I mean? Everybody is there, and then you've got the Feyenoord is working class.
Mm-hmm.
They got the dogs that the shipping and stuff. So it's a lot of labours and we're actually speak louder than words. That's their motto, and so it's a kind of like I can identify myself with therefore when I got to Celtic a lot better because I kind of understand what the clan stands for, what Feyenoord stands for, its past history in the Europa Cup, and obviously the players that managers that came for those clubs. So. That's if I look back at my football career, and obviously with my memories and about my club, there was the Feyenoord. Yeah, all the players that you played with, then you play against them. But even though you cross seas, you always kind of meet up with each other and end up playing with each other again, which is always a nice thing, of course. But yeah, Feyenoord Rotterdam is the big team in Holland. You got the Ajax team, what means Feyenoord.
And also you came through the ranks at Feyenoord. What was that like though when you made your professional debut? How did that mean to you and obviously your family?
Well, when I got to Feyenoord when I was 14, and I was 14 years old. I got there, and I played. I started to make good progress, and then you get invited to go to the Dutch national team, youth teams then. You managed to get in there, and you managed to establish yourself there, and become a captain, all that stuff. Then interest comes. And I remember I was 16, and Leia Beenok at the time, yes, he's passed away now. But they don't stay in our town. And he wanted to sign me for Ajax. And I was 16, and initially said yes. But then, just thinking about it, and a final came to me and offered me professional contract straight away. And then after a bit of thinking, I thought, I hate to go back on my words, but I think it's better if I just stay here at Feyenoord. So I signed professional contract, and I was 16. Played then with the trained and played with the first team. Wim Janssen was the one who we took me also to the first team when I was 16. Not just to start play, just to kind of have an idea what it feels like. And he helped me a lot. A very good football man, very well respected. And then I was 18 when I made my full kind of like debut in the domestic league against Rode JC. It was a cold evening. He got the nod to start, and that was my first one. We won 2-1 away from home. Got 1 assist, and then I remember a second half I got a chance, and I hit it on the crossbar. Ronald Waterreus was then the goalkeeper for Rode JC. But I've got a lot of fun memories, and I really have to dig deep because we're talking about the nights.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
That's a long time. That's a long time ago. Yeah.
And see, when you were at Feyenoord, who were some of like your mentors that you would look at and be like, yeah, I can go to him for some advice? Who were they?
Well, we had Wim Janssen. Wim Janssen was, we all know, is 4-man played those national team by Feyenoord. Won the cup. Very successful, but he's very much likes young talent. There was another one that was there. Was kind of like a scout, was Frans Bouwmeester, and he was also a very good footballer in his time. And those were kind of iconic figures in Dutch football, but they always seemed to do scouting, and so you listen to their advice, so to speak. And but you have the players. We have Van Hanegem was then the manager at the first team at Feyenoord. Now Van Hanegem is a brilliant left foot. Not the quickest, they call him the kromme. Maar hij look like you like this, but he can play. He might not have speed, but he can play with his left foot. A very good player. And as a human being, as a coach, actually, it was hard for me to understand because his sarcasm and his humor was a bit tricky for me, and I didn't really get that. So that's also kind of like a learning process from a youth player going through the ranks, and then you come to the first team, and then it's just absorbing everything. How does it work? You listen to obviously coaches and certain players that you kind of listen to. You don't want to pick their brains, but you just listen to. Because back in the days, don't ask too many questions. Just keep still and just listen.
Old school.
Yeah, a bit old school. But I sometimes I was I carry my heart on my sleeve, so I say too many things, and I just say how I think, and it's most times this is just true, but the second hierarchy you can't really say much. You're just young. Don't say anything. Just keep your life quiet.
And then, see, obviously before you left Feyenoord, you had a couple of loan spells, and then you made the switch to Ipswich. Tell me how that came about. What was it like going from playing football in Holland to going to the UK?
Well, a couple of loan spells. To two club, Dordrecht, which is just near from us. They won maybe the finals of, well, at the top of the first division, so to speak, and I helped them with winning the league to get promotion to the next one. Then next season was the LKC, got loaned out, and then I came back, and then the difficult thing was for me because I kind of was lost. I was 21. My contract was running out at Feyenoord. I had no clue what I was going to do, honestly. I had no clue. To a point where it wasn't going well for me. And I thought, I don't know what to do now. And I had a good one-to-one with some of the coaches, which in a way, which is what I needed. And so then we played. Still had to finish the season, so we played a game with the reserves against Volendam. It's for some reason, Ipswich had, let's say, Dutch connections, and they contacted me to kind of like, would you be interested to come to Ipswich? And I was thinking, man, I've not been playing really well, right? So I'll take it, but I'm a bit surprised. Anyway, so played that game. Honestly, it was one of the worst games I've played. My agent, my friend said to me, Bobby, if they say you have that performance, then you must have a guardian angel or something. And I get a phone call. I says, well, I said, well, they want me. They still want me. I said, oh, God, I could. But that's what I needed. That's what I needed. It was a difficult transition. Not so much flying over and get settled. The point was actually adapting myself to the team, how things went, and fitness-wise, I thought I was fit. I wasn't fit at all. I wasn't. Anything with the ball was fine, but fitness was not good. The stamina wasn't good. Also, the way they play systems, I had really. So if I wanted to come short, the ball goes long, and if I want to go long, the ball comes short. So I was always where the ball wasn't, and I wasn't getting into the game, and it was really was pissed off with that one. So it took me a year to adjust, to find my feet, to work on my fitness, to understand. And I realized as well, maybe there's a little bit of an ego. I come from Holland, and I'll just fit in. It doesn't work that way. And I had to find out the hard way. it's kind of like any new person, especially from Holland. This guys, when you come here, and then you go, right, this is a different story.
Yeah.
Right? Don't think. Just take your time. Watch how things go. Do your job, and then you will see how it goes. And when it's easy to fit in, as opposed to, yeah, but we do this. Yeah, we're not there anymore. You're here. Right? So the transition of that immensely was very important. I had to adjust, and I had to really dig deep and think to myself, okay, what goes well for me and what doesn't go well for me. Be absolutely honest. And I said, right, okay, no, you have to do this. Dismiss that, because I was as a player, I was kind of distracted easily. So I really had to kind of go. I stay focused in order to kind of do my job and fit in and start performing. And I think that's why it's to keep your ears and eyes open, just take it all in and analyze things and find ways that it will benefit you. And it's not possible to go to in this case to England and then play for Ipswich. I think they have to adjust to me. No, I've got to adjust to that way of life. And as youngsters, they were 16 years old, they were so fit. We're doing hill runs. I'm looking at them and go compares, right? So there's a few seconds in between them before the next group starts. And I was breathing. And I go, dude, how old are you? I was 16. I was 21, 22. 16. Well, just run. I'm just on myself. Now, just say this cannot happen. This cannot happen. That was a learning experience, and I needed it, right? I wouldn't have it any other way. At the time, it wasn't really pleasant, but I had no other choice but to go with it. It's either, especially after that first year with Ipswich, they told me before we went into the break, they said, well, it's not working out, and if you can find yourself a club, we'll be happy to work along with you. Not a problem. I'll sit there. I looked at them. I signed for 3 years. I'm not leaving. Just came back the second year, knowing what went wrong, and what I should do better, and then I kind of worked from it. That experience, I took it with me when I came to Celtic after that first year. That bad experience, tough experience at Ipswich that first year, I thought back of that in order for me to kind of get through the first year at Celtic.
And just before we go into Celtic, what was your relationship like with George Burley? Because he was the one that obviously signed you. Like, what was it like playing under him?
George, man, do you know what the best thing is with Mr. Burley, with George? Is if you play on the opposite side of the pitch, right? If you don't hear him shouting in your ear, he's got this squeaky voice, and then they always say, yeah. Then you go, you don't go back the way, you don't go back the way, you go forward. And I'm like, oh my God, and you hear that all the time, huh? So this is the thing where the ball is on the other side. I'm a left winger, right? Well, we play forward to 11. Ball's on the other side. So for me, that's not point staying in the wing. I need to go a bit more inside. Go with that. But we stay away. So he's saying one thing, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but I'm not used to it. Because I'll be too late if the ball goes over. I need to be a bit more tucked in. And that was always the case with him. But we had our moments where it was difficult for me with George, because sometimes I didn't understand what he was trying to say. Right? Therefore, his staff was very good. I must admit, his staff was Dale Roberts. He passed away, unfortunately, with cancer. Very good guy, good man. Yeah, good. That's a really good soul. Says what he thinks, but with a good heart. Tony Mobley was the captain, but he understood what George Burley wanted to do. I would say George can ping a ball, and he has got good intentions. Sometimes I must admit, sometimes his style of man management wasn't really as it could be maybe a bit better. But that's why I had other people that made me understand what he wanted to, what he was saying. So no, I'm not saying George, but I would love to have a chance. Remember those days? We had a fallout, which was actually on the pitch and training, which actually helped a lot. So I was after the first, I'm still struggling. I made my appearances here and there, but I knew what I was capable of doing. And there was a training session where in the evenings they would travel to go, which I quite miss, traveling to midweek games away from home. Welcome over the top, David Johnson. I tried to hit the ball, kick the ball and goal. I put my foot there and he hits my studs. And George went mad. Went mad. He said, Bobby. And he was shouting at me and cursing and you're only here to kick. You're only here to kick people. Yeah, and he started complaining. I did say nothing, huh? But I kept it inside of him and then I snapped. So I'm not too sure if I can say it, but I said it in kind of I said it in an American way. He kept going on about me. I said, if you don't fucking want me, send me my fucking home. I've had fucking enough with you. I said, fuck off. I said, and enough. But we had a game. He was playing in the game too. I was so he likes to do that. Keep yapping. It's done. We kept yapping. He says, so much. I shut the fuck up. And then the ball fell between us. I was like, please go, because I would do your fucking knee. And then I was like, come on, please. And we ran into the ball and he just backed out. And I took the ball and I played it. And then the experienced players, they seen it happening and I came over and took me separately, right? And I was angry. And so Bob calmed down and says, boy, so you know what I'm like. I don't say nothing. Yes, I'm struggling a bit, not let me go well. But I don't like to go against the manager because where I'm from in Holland, you don't do that. You don't step on that. If you say something back, you step on that toes. That's rude. That's also a part I had to learn. You can do that in the UK. You can. So the next day, we traveled. They didn't say nothing to me. Go to the hotel, do a breakfast in the mornings, and then we have a light training session. We always do that. There's some freaking makeshift freaking goals and stuff. And before we start, he says, Bobby, can I have me word with you? So he asked girlfriend, what is that? It's like, well, emotions, it's okay. And I thought to myself, it's all right. I said, I felt bad. In effect, I felt bad that I let myself kind of, that aggression get out of me. And he says, no, it's fine, it's emotions, and I played that again. And I kind of felt a big release. It was a big release. And since then, I seem to kind of understand what he was trying to tell me. And maybe sometimes I would say, no, there's a big lesson for me. Sometimes a bit of a blowout, a bit of an argument is good, because then everything comes out. Then you can speak openly and frankly about things. But that was the deciding moment for me where I felt more free to play my football, and I started to perform a lot better. So that was kind of midway, before midway in the second season. The George wasn't easy. Oh man, but honestly, when I look back at the careers, all the managers I still have fun memories. Some more than others, but that's good.
And then obviously in 1999, Bobby, you signed for Celtic, and it was John Barnes and Kenny Dalglish that were at the club. And I asked you though as well, because Celtic were going through a difficult period at that time. Yeah. Why do you think it didn't work out for Dalglish and obviously John Barnes at Celtic?
God, when I came there, I was really happy to sign for a big club. Obviously having Henrik there and Reggie, obviously all for Feyenoord. So it was good, and just try to get fit into a new club. We had good players. We had a good team. No, I would say we had good players. As a team, we weren't as good, but we followed the instructions and the tactics and the strategy and the system that they wanted us to play. And I think that was the problem with the system we played, because we played 4-2-2-2. So on the wings, the fullbacks had to really go from deep to go up, and you were exposed on that. And everything was too narrow, so that didn't work. They had a clash with some of the big personalities in the squad, and then also that they could see that a bit of an issue with what the managers wanted to do and how they were spoken to, and we have to think clearly, because I said I was 25, 26, and I just took everything in my stride, right? But I could see there's a bit of friction here and there, and kids just can feel tension there yet. Al Berkovic, a very good football player, just didn't fit into the group and the way we played. But you can see that. So it started all very well, and first 5 games, I think, of the season, we started Aberdeen, I think, all thought, well, dream team, everybody's for 5-0, 5-1, 6-0, whatever. Yeah, but you can see it on the training grounds, and it wasn't running smoothly, and then obviously that infamous game against Inverness, that was the final straw, and yeah, I have no problem with John Barnes, to be honest with you. It's just some of the decisions that that I wasn't too sure of, but I must admit, his experience, had an experience as a main coach. That was his first main job. But yeah, Kenny Douglas, who is obviously comes on, oversees everything. But he comes from me. I think he should have known better, in my opinion, how to what was required, and knowing very well that this system that you try to implement is not working, because yet still playing as a red back. Feeder reasons. You could chop and check, people getting moved about. We all try to do a job. I mean, I was playing on left, I was playing right midfield. At times I do my best. And at times you get away with it, it's played okay. But at times it's just not. So no excuse, but that's just the reality of it. I think anybody that, if you can really judge somebody, it's like, put that person in the position that he's bought for, that like play left wing, play on the left wing, then judge him that. How hard it? You can't really judge somebody if he's left wing and plays on the right. Do you know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And I would say this as well, like, I think you can admit as well, in your first season you were struggling.
Yeah.
Did it ever cross your mind where you're like, you know what, I want to leave this club? Or were you determined to be like, no, I want to get this right, I want to be a success for Celtic?
I knew what I was capable of doing, and I lost my confidence. And it kind of started with the game against Motherwell. There was, again, so what happened in the training pitches and just an uneasiness within the squad and dressing rooms and stuff. And I wasn't too sure, even with the playing style itself. And I think I had a ball on the left-hand side first half. I remember Mark Viduka. Mark Viduka wanted the ball in the space, right? But I'm like, so he was running that way, but the defender was on this side, but he wanted the ball there and says, no, I'm going to play it here. The only thing you have to do is just check and turn out that way. So I played the ball, and he just went and stood and looked at it, let it run past. But I could hear the crowd go, ooh. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, hopefully they don't think that's not a bad ball. The idea was for him to check in there. That's why I played there with that speed on that angle. I thought that, and that's when I thought, right, okay, this is not working. Oh no, I didn't. I said it to people. At that time, my energy, my confidence dropped there. Really, I didn't want to have to. I wanted the ball, and I want to play it. I wasn't sure, but it was Tommy Burns who had a very good conversation with me, because he knows what I'm capable of doing. He was manager at Reading, and we played with Ipswich against Reading quite a few times. I don't remember. I'm playing reasonably well, so him being a lefty as well. So him being a football person, just like Wim Jansen is. I felt compelled to kind of have a chat with him, and I really appreciated that. And then he said, look, if you want to win the crowd back, you have to be very positive. The first thing you do, play that ball, is take him off. Show your intentions, not to your opponent, but also to the crowd that you want to be attacking. Because that's what Celtic is all about. Bravery, you might have a crap game, but as long as you give it your all and want to go forward and want to be positive, create something, make something happen. And that's what Tommy Burns said. He says, go knock the ball past him. Here we get a throw in, or a corner, or a free kick, anything. People love that. I was like, is that simple, isn't it? Really? Because it is simple, actually, in that sense. Just stay with it. Just be positive. Because what happens with players who are low in confidence, the first starts to come back. You don't want to go forward. So I think if you want to be positive, you go forward. If you're kind of not in a good frame of mind, confidence is low, and you kind of stay there, you go back. It's kind of like if you look at it that way. So they have to go forward. And once I feed off the crowd, and once I start doing it, you just feel it changing. And really, for me, my focus in that second year was to blank out anything, because it really wasn't easy for me to walk in town in my first year. I go out and about and getting called all sports from both sides. That's also for me. Maybe also my naivety helped me a bit. Well, yes. I got told on the walk on the street, somebody says to me, "Oh, spitting with this Mrs. You're effing bastard," you know what I mean? And I go, what's that? Oh, I'm like, and I go, well, but I'm from Holland. I have more orders than them, you know what I mean? So it was really weird for me to get that concept. But now I totally understand it. But it's just it's very much a goldfish bowl, and it's quite fickle at times.
Skinny. Very big.
One day you can be absolutely brilliant here, and the next way you're at the crap. So it's not easy, and I get it. It's all emotions from fans, and I get it. And personally, me as a football player, as a fan, and how I kind of look at myself or criticize myself, I hear you. I hear it. I say, no, it's shit. It's crap. It's not good. I don't intend to do it, but I need to fix it.
Good.
And I think so. This is another thing. So when you're in the public eye and you're doing performance, whether it's music, whether it's dancing, or whether it's football, or any kind of sports, people need to understand we're human beings, and we try to do our best. And we are humans, so therefore we make mistakes. Things don't work out, but we try to do the right thing. But for any of these people come and really criticize the players, saying they're crap and this, he's a flop. This is a bit harsh coming from you, because seeing you play 5% football and come from a bag of cement. So I get it, because you've been entitled once you watch the game and you feel like I pay you wage. I get it's all emotion. I said, yeah, but it's not easy. So to see the percentage of players or youngsters making it into professional football, the percentage is maybe 1-2% of total.
Very sure, yeah.
So it's not easy to get there. Enough people ask how. I said, no, it has to be in you a bit of ruthlessness, a bit of really self-belief, that you can do it. It's really weird. And then it's not being arrogant. It's just
self-confidence.
Self-confidence, yeah. It's not arrogance. I know, but also by the same time being humble about it too.
Mm.
Now I can do this. Just no. I'll show you. I can do this better.
Yes.
You kind of, and then you just show it with your actions. Now it's not easy to be a professional football player and therefore make the mark, but then also travel to go from one country to another country. There's a lot of aspects that come to play, a lot of factors, and it's not easy to kind of make your mark and put your stamp on your position and influence the team. It's not easy, but I know it's football is it's ups and downs, and I think especially for myself being a winger, it's a bit like that.
Yeah,
I play okay games. I play some good games. I played games that were absolutely not good.
Mm.
And you're not happy when it happens.
Mm. And that's one thing as well, Bobby. You either sink or swim when you play for Rangers or Celtic, because it doesn't matter how good a player you are. Mentally, if you've not got it, you're not going to last up here. We've seen many good players from England come up here, like, for example, Shane Duffy, Joey Barton, just to name a couple.
Yes.
They were meant to do some big things, and then they just did not work out. If you've not got the mentality to play for the whole fun, you're not going to last. Yeah,
and I think it's about the mentality. But I had to go soul searching a bit. So apart from Tommy Bears, who helped me on the football part, I did a lot of things myself. I must admit, I did a lot of things myself. I'm the type of person now who like to figure things out. I don't really speak to people. I'm calling my own zone and work things out. I need to figure this out. And I said, first experience at Ipswich, I took it to Celtic. But I said, I've done it. I'm not leaving. I signed for you. I'm not leaving. But I know what the things that would distract me from doing my job. I'll try to dismiss that. The many outside things that I'm very observant, so I see it and I'm like, I should not get annoyed. I just need to stay focused. So I was coaching myself a lot in that second year. I think that the majority of players that have been in my position would have wanted to leave, especially then. I know I just took it on my stride. I know going out to events, knowing that you could do better, you're not showing your best, but you get judged on what you've shown. It kind of hurts. It doesn't seem nice. And then when you need to go to an event and make public appearance, it's not really what I want to do. Because, the eyes on you, like, this goes through your head. He's played shite, he's shite, blah, blah, what's he doing here, or whatever.
Yeah, there's a bit of your face spot behind the back, he was...
It's good. But then after that year, the first year, and they come over and said, Bobby, I was one of those. But I'm glad you proved me wrong. I said, I kind of appreciated you being really honest about it. I said, but I understand that too, huh? I says, I want to do well. I like to get good feedback. But if I do play a bad game and you guys, thanks, I know I beat myself up about it, and let alone the fans. So it's not easy, but again, if you can turn things around, then I think you've done a good thing.
Definitely. And when Martin O'Neill came in, that was a game changer for you, Bobby. What was it like playing under Martin O'Neill, and what did he do specifically where you really just started to kick on in your career at Celtic?
I'd gaffer, you would, he said it before in some public outlets. They said also confidence, certain players that he inherited from when he first came here. The confidence was low, and I tweaked it a bit, but then I didn't think he would say that. But he said, well, there's Bob. Yeah, the confidence was a bit low, but in fairness, he did it all himself. And I kind of go, it's kind of true. And I was like, thank you for saying that, because I listened to what he said, and I was looking at you to him, but eventually I had to do it, and I did it. And I was quite, but I was quite happy quite pleased, unexpectedly that he said. He does a bit of that confidence, but give him some points, by fairness, he did it all himself. And what I'm saying is, what I used was my experience at Ipswich in that first year. So if I can't do it then and turn things around, because they've done the fuck me off. I can do it, and I stayed, and we can make it work. I think I could do the same thing here. But you know what you need to do. Now you've got a manager who plays a different system, which is more suitable for players like myself. Yeah, I mean, bear in mind, I always played 4-3-3 at the left wing or some left midfield or centre midfield behind the striker. But now you go England and you play 4-4-2, and now you play 3-5-2. So I had to really adjust. So it's not always going forward. It's just kind of like you have to go forward. You have to have midfield, and you have to defend as well. So you have to hold that whole flank to cover defending and attacking. And it's a big pitch, and that requires a lot of energy. But we were all very fit. And so I think before I came to Celtic, being on a big club coming from Feyenoord, I think the Ipswich chapter was like a preparation for a club like Celtic, and we playing 3-5-2, taking some players, bringing some players in, and adjusting the system a bit. But I just worked. We didn't really work on set plays and the structure. I mean it. Nowadays, modern day of coaching, stop, face play, go position, go here. We didn't have that. Very old school, and it worked for us. Hour and 15-20 minutes. That was it. Pre-season, that's all. There's no double session. It's one session. And we had such a strong team, squad, characters, personalities, that we would get told, the team, this is the starting lineup. in the formation.
Simple.
And they didn't have to tell us, because we did it amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
So, and then the person is in front of you, next to you, you put them. Communication is key, but also there's the characters, the understanding of football, of how to play the system and how to manage it. And you say criticism, because you don't want to disappoint your teammates. And if your teammate, if you're not doing very well, then you get pulled up. So it keeps you sharp, keeps you on your toes. But we really had a great team, and Martin and John Robertson, passed away in it. Wally, they did a phenomenal job. Really, can't just simple. Few things on the set plays, corners for and against, blah blah blah. Simple. And that's really good when you say, right, it was all new, but once you've seen it once, you will never forget. And it is actually like that. Because we go, pop up information, look, okay, got it.
Click.
And they didn't overcomplicate it. And that suited me. And I was able to do my thing, make mistakes. And I knew from all these years of football that you have to work back, you have to work hard, you have to put a tackle in. At least you fight for it. And people will appreciate it if you're actually going to go that extra 5-10 yards of sprinting, and then you put a tackle in. They'll appreciate that. Yeah, you got to do something that is not necessarily in 40. You have to, because the willingness to do something dirty, you can't do it all pretty. That's not the way things life goes, and it's definitely not how football goes. You have to, roll up your sleeves, getting stuck in, work hard. And if you do that, then you got a chance,
And then obviously when you look at that treble winning season under Martin O'Neill, that was spectacular. So it was for Celtic. And the 6-2 game against Rangers, I think before the game, I think I read actually somewhere where you had a feeling where you're like, no, we're gonna beat Rangers today, we're gonna do them. But what was that like playing in that 6-2 game? And obviously it was iconic for Celtic, but what did you feel it like? It was definitely one of your standout moments. You had a blinder.
Yeah, I had a good one. I was really once again, I've seen my first season. I've seen a lot from the stands, and I see where we went wrong and where we should as a team do better in terms of formation, and we kept exposed on the wing. I was like, we need to, then Martin comes in, but for me, work hard and get in the starting lineup, get my confidence back up, start getting the starting lineup, getting involved, being part of the team, and then obviously we had 2 games, I think on United, and then obviously I got for the Hearts and stuff, and then obviously I got the North, and I was ready for it. We were on the day. It was a early kickoff. We do the warm up. It was a sunny day, and then get your ready. You're in the tunnel. Then we came out, and I came out and I see the sunshine. I was like, this is our day. We're not gonna lose this one. It felt amazing, and it's really weird. You just go out there really to go and perform as best as you can. Personally, if I look back at my first year, how maybe some people would have expected me to leave, or people wrote me off. Then doing pre-season, second year, season, of course, try to turn things around for myself, and then to get you not to go playing your first Old Firm, and it is. I'm sorry, but it is Old Firm back then. It's not now, in my opinion.
That's what it is. Like more PG nowadays.
It's not the same. It's not being disrespectful. It's just it's just the way it is. And to be part of that, because I've seen previously on TV, and now so you can watch it. I've seen on TV, and I go to be a part of that. I think it's pretty special, and the way it turned out. But I didn't expect that. Play as a team, very good football, the 6-2, the way everything went, with the substitution of Fernando Rickson, then God bless him. Then and the goals, 3 goals in 11 minutes. everything clicks. It was a big game for myself, for the ones that they were new there, for the management. Then we
Got them.
and you just go back and it's like, where did that come from? I said, I don't know. Everything was clicked. I can't describe it as only as everything fell into place the way it should. The way it was written, maybe. But yeah, go from where you were last year to now there. Then you get at that particular game. You had Louis van Gaal was the bonds coach of the Dutch national team. He was there to watch, obviously, some of the other Dutch players for the opposite team, for Rangers, to watch them. Now, I heard when it was there, so I was focused on the game, but it's just nice to kind of put a performance in there. That was a bonus, huh? It's just mainly for myself, for the team, club, to put a good performance for the fans. I know what everything else comes, the call for Dutch national team, that's an extra bonus. But it's nice, because I know Louis van Gaal from my time at Feyenoord, because Feyenoord and Ajax, we always play tournaments, and in the league as well, against each other. And Louis van Gaal was coaching there on the 18th, 17th, 18th. And so he knows me, and it's well of a surprise. So that, again, everything was, I had to go through a dip. If I look back at it, I had to go through a tough time. And then I kind of showed that I'm capable of getting on top of it. And so yeah, that is kind of like a red line through my life as well. It's that life is up and downs, up and downs, up and downs. And made some freaking experiences, that's for sure. I met some amazing people. I understand myself a lot and how I was as a 19-year-old, 18-year-old to, also to now. I understand what the players back in the day said to me, and I didn't understand that. I thought they were being rude, or maybe my response was a bit cocky. And I can see that now, because if I see young enough, I can maybe see myself in that one. But that's just the beauty of it. Of when you're young and you just want to experience things, you have to go through it. Not only, especially after my career, I look back at it. I understand. I know where I was, and I understand why people maybe, let's say, didn't like me as much or thought I was cocky. I totally get it. I totally get it. I mean, the best thing is just to own up on things and say that I was like this, and then I'm not that anymore. If I'm to make a mistake, I put my hand up. I take a bit of ownership. I think accountability, and go through the hard times and playing for a big club, Celtic, and the way things go within the old firm and the press. You want to win. I mean, I'm a winner. I always want to win. That's why I was with Feyenoord. We won a lot of things, and be always there in the finals. You know what I mean? But this is the thing. You need to appreciate the wins. You need to lose.
100%.
And then I think nowadays with the youngsters, and this is something with the training that I do, private individual training. Yeah, they have too many options, too many distractions now. They don't put their heart and soul in it. And therefore I'm thinking, well, you can do this trick. I said, yeah, okay, you do the trick, but what's the benefit of doing that trick? You need to know when to do the trick. So again, the knowledge is, people say knowledge is power. So knowledge is only power if you know how to use it and you apply it properly. Then it becomes powerful. Apart from that, there's no use if you don't know what to do with it. You can do the trick, but they don't know. The hammer, what am I doing this? You have to know what you have to do with it. Then what's the end product? What's the end product then? So I think then with the football, everybody's got a certain position to play, and there you've got, that's also that the dynamic is different and different way your system playing, and your teamwork. So everybody's relying on each other. You have to do your job, and I think that's the beauty of football. It's a team sport, but at the same time, it's also individual because you're a pro. It's like your business. So it's you've got your competition. Well, it's a funny old game. But I'm really glad that I really feel like I've made really my name in the UK, and I'm really blessed that I've played for a big club, Celtic.
Well, definitely. And just to stay on Celtic, Bobby, I didn't ask you about Ajax, that iconic performance in that role as well. What was it like going back to Holland and then obviously beating Ajax 3-1 through that?
Yeah, man, that was amazing. That game was on Wednesday. And we played against, I think we played against Kilmarnock, Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Saturday, and I felt something, man. So I was doubtful that I was going to play. So we went to Holland, and I well, I was supposed to do this, right? But I obviously wanted to give myself opportunity to play in this game, to be fit enough to play. So I had my physio in Amsterdam, who I've seen before when I was 15, 16. He helped me, and I had him sneak up to my room. I sneaked up to my room after dinner, and he would work on me for probably 9 o'clock till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I would do dip tissue. He would back down. He would do a lot of things with the elbow and the forearms, acupuncture, and I was, because I believed in him, because he helped me a lot. But he made me ready for that game. And we come to the game. We go into the pitch, just have a wee look. We come back to the dressing room. Then the gaffer goes, "Bobby, you're all right? If fit? Okay, you start." Puzzle. Listen to Dutch music, right? I was back in Holland. This is my first time back since leaving in '96. And then I could see a comment say, I see all these Celtic supporters all high up there on the left-hand side. Me thinking, okay, I'll play for Feyenoord against Ajax in this stadium. Nearly 7 years, but I didn't. Had to be this way. Leo Beenhakker was technical director of Ajax back then. He's technical director again from Ajax now. You're back then. And there you play. And the way the Dutch were looking at Scottish football was very much kind of Mickey Mouse League. They're not as good. So the league is not so strong. Okay, I hear you. So let's play football. And then the way we played, we played extremely well. Everybody played that goal. It just 7 minutes. First time I think it was Lenny as well. It's funny because Lenny always plays sideways and back, but this time he plays as forwards. Shot he spins, crosses the ball. Actually, there's a ball I think meant for Henrik. I don't know. The goalkeeper, Fred Slim, who's now the manager of Ajax, he played, but I knew that he was going to punch him. And for me, in sense of, for me, it was the anticipation and the touch for that particular goal was everything. Everything else. As soon as I just spin and I had a touch, I knew it's going to go high. So that was one that just couldn't have I scored. I don't know, celebrating and this. It's just amazing how things come together with my parents. True. So we'd be in a standstill amongst all the other Feyenoord supporters, for his Celtic supporters. I know Wim Johnson and his family was there too. Yeah, they were there. It's also very special. Again, I got big thanks to Wim for actually taking me to the first team at Feyenoord. The way we played, Didier put 2-3 charging bullets in the back of the net. His cross for Sutton's header. The only anything was missing was maybe Henrik scoring, but apart from that, there was a brilliant goal. Nobody expected it. We're absolutely buzzing. We're absolutely buzzing. Yeah. So look back at this. We should go back to and experience it again. Really. Yeah, the football back then and the atmosphere was amazing. It's all kind of changed this nowadays, but amazing feeling, a great bunch of players, and there's nothing better than I think as a team going through ups and downs, and then come together, and then just and gel. So you have a lot of respect for one another, and it makes things work. No, there's no progress without struggle. That's what I'm saying with everything. There's a red line through everything. You have to embrace it in a way. You can't run away from it and say, you know what, I'm gonna hit it head on. I said, okay, let's deal with it.
You're spot on. And you mentioned Henrik there. What was it like playing with Larsson? For me, I think he's probably the best player that's ever great Scottish football, in my opinion. But what was that like?
I find it, for my position, I find it easy to play with a player like him, because as soon as I get the ball on my feet, control, I take it out. I see that picture. I picture where his position. I'm thinking, well, this is the way I'm thinking. The best place for me to get the ball in your feet, to get you involved, is there. Now, he knows, so we're on the same wavelength. He knows his options, but this is the best one. And he knows, I can see his movement. So the communication with football is not so much by shouting. It just by looking and just understanding football, understanding the shape and stuff, where to play it. Makes it easy. It makes himself available. You always have a chance of scoring a goal with him. And I remember games where you might not have had the best of games, but guaranteed he rolls. The last 10-15 minutes, he makes a difference. That to me is a special player. Very hard himself in training, and so how he applies himself in the training, with the football. So if he misses a chance in training, it's not happening. So again, how he applies him then, it reflects on the game. It's I think the partnership with him and Chris Sutton is just really good. Also with John as well, but obviously we have to think Chris and Henrik, they understood each other. I think there's nothing better, especially when you had a striking duo. Two people up front that I really work with one another. You don't really see that much now. We don't really see it. That actually is.
It's always one striker up front.
Yeah, I don't understand. But I mean, we can go through all they give it all the numbers, false 6, false 9. I'm like, let's say it for what it is, right? You can play a system any way you want, right? But it's just one side. So yeah, but the ball goes. If you play with 3 up front, well, one up front here. If the ball is on that side, I'm a left winger. I don't stay there. I'm a striker too. I'm becoming second post. That's normal. We've been told that when we were 12, 13, 14 years old. Ball's on the other side, you come in. Ball comes in, you're on the back post. So a lot of things. Ange was there, and he plays, because I know he's from Australia, and they play the 4-3-3 system. That's their curriculum. That's the way they need to do it. He done it in 4-3-3, but that's the way he plays. But we all know, if I want to, I'm the constant wing, I need to be there. I need to be at the back post. I become the second striker. The center midfield player also becomes striker because he goes in the box. So you at least got 2 or 3 in the box. Then put everything squeezes up. And then when I hear certain people come to, that's great, he's on the back post. I'm like, but he's supposed to be there. Don't know how you guys play this. But if I'm not there in that position, then I'm not doing a good job. You have to go and move with the ball, and it's just I don't know, the way we play football, and especially with Celtic back with the wingers, because that is also identifiable with Celtic philosophy, is playing with wingers in attacking football. Feyenoord was also a bit like that. In class, but they play with wingers. So you had Jinky, Bobby Leonard, but you had also at Feyenoord, you had Koemelijn, who was a left winger, who I met when I was young. He passed away, unfortunately. But I used to, as a young kid, and when I was just signed for Feyenoord, I was 14, we used to go into the shop, clothing shop, and to get introduced. I've signed for Feyenoord. I was such a wee kid. But I started watching footage on videotapes back in the days, and watching play, the old-fashioned left winger. And I think nowadays you don't see those type of players anymore. Left winger.
It's already robotic as well with the coaching nowadays, in my opinion, with modern football.
So we go back to Henrik. Henrik always says, Bobby, when you go past, just cross up. Because if I'm not there, it's my fault, not yours. It's that simple. Nowadays we see people being in very good positions. Let's say a right fullback there, and there's 1-on-1. Oh, but he's looking for a pass. The first touch is not going forward. No, he's going back to it. I mean, how boring is this? Have a bit of guts. Take him on.
Yeah.
Because what's the point of being such? I mean, as a winger, I would love it. But I know things have changed a lot. The philosophy and how things. I don't want to play football. It's all completely changed. I don't find it, in my all honesty, enjoyable to watch football. I watch highlights.
Yeah.
And even then, I skip.
Yeah, as I don't blame me, because like modern football nowadays, it's just, a lot of ex-pros are saying that as well, where it's like, to be brutally honest, football's boring nowadays. And I hate saying that, but it's true.
But, and this is the thing. You see things now, let's say nowadays, young players doing. doing a trick. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. I'm like,
It was a norm back then. Now it's just like, well, it's like, because they're not used to seeing it.
yeah.
Nowadays.
So the emphasis is not on. And so okay, look, so it's about that trick was beautiful. I'm like, no, he did that trick, right? Whether it's necessary or not, he did a trick because it was functional. But don't focus too much on that trick, right? It's not tricks that win the game. Doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those tricks they need to do that to get out of a certain situation. All right, if you could do it, you made a bit of flair, but don't do it all the time. But I've seen other players do it, but they don't get the praise. So what's the difference between him and him? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a bit like this, or I'm like, don't just call a spade a spade. But they seem to pick who they want to promote and what they want to promote and what they want to highlight and stuff. Because I've seen other players do that. He didn't say much about this particular player. He did the same thing, but you don't hear. You don't hear him. You're praising about this player. I hate that. Be consistent. I will not say nothing at all. Yeah. But you see it a lot, and I think sometimes now with the social media,
it's so easy to be a critic as well. In social media as well, it's just like,
yeah. Therefore, I have to be careful as well what I say, because so this is another thing. So when I criticize somebody, it comes from a good bit of experience.
mm-hmm.
So when I say when you hear somebody is a flop, I said I get what you're saying. But I wouldn't say it's a flop, right? Yeah, he flopped, but it's easy to say it. Mm-hmm. You can even make this, you can pop team. So come on, so I mean, like, just be quiet. Just it's about, because a lot of times players come. It's not just the way they play or the where they live. As soon as they go for example, to Germany, or they score goals left, right, and center. Mm. You understand? Mm. Sometimes the environment. So it's not just I'll go here, I can kick football. It's like it doesn't work that way. You know, you have to deal with another club, the feeling where you're at, the climate, everything, the food, I don't know, the living areas. You have to feel at home. You have to be able to adapt to it. Because if you can't adapt to it, I mean, it'd be horrible to go to training session because you don't go home and they're not happy. Or go here, so you're gonna struggle. So that's gonna have an effect on in my opinion, on your performances. Mm. So to choose your club and to adapt, it's not easy. Mm. You make quite a lot of sacrifices but you're very critical. But as I said, if you're in a public eye and you perform like football, you're always going to be in the spotlight, and it's not easy to switch off. But you become kind of thick-skinned. Mm. But like you're better off not to see it. Like if you read it, you can't unread it, if that makes sense. Mm. If you already read it, it's already in here. Mm. So if you don't see it, then you just distance yourself from it. Because it will have an impact on you. Words have an impact in reading it, have an impact on you. Mm. That's really important. That's why people are very good in getting people's ear. That's why to get the best out of people, good motivator is saying the right things to get you motivated. Same can be done to be negative. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, very sure. Yeah, true, Robbie. And this is one thing as well with modern players. I read something as well in that I think it was some of the Man United players at half time, right, the young ones, right as soon as they got into the dressing room, they're on their phone checking what people are saying online. It's a terrible thing to have, and obviously, like nowadays, a lot of young players are addicted to social media because that's what they've grown up with, and I think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, it is a bad thing. You know, as a kid, when I used to love phones, right? I used to love phones, and I'm quite glad that I never had those types of phones that we have now. Back in the days, we all had those Nokias, right? And the Motorola. I was happy with it, but yeah, it's the image is more about image, right? And people feel respected, and they think that's the main thing. That's completely wrong. You know, you've got to give it. You'll be given a gift, which is play football, and to make people happy, and to make you feel good, but to create an emotion for it, right? It was burned. But your problem is you have to stay humble. Mm. That's another thing. You have to stay humble. A lot of them are not humble. So my image says, it's taken away. And I said, either one. This gets all taken away with you. Now you're shining. You give it all this and that. When it going gets tough, now you have to show it. So this place needs to stay away from it. It's going full get chucked away. it's more focus. Yeah, I get it because I've been there, but very quickly I realized, no, that's not the right way to go about it. This is the way to go about it. Stay focused. Too many distractions. Burn the phones right away. I've got a bit of an issue with that. Just keep it private. Even footage gets shown and in the dressing room what it was like. The speech. I'm like, I think those moments are special. They should remain. They shouldn't remain within that group that was there, not out in the public eye and on social media. I don't agree with that, to be honest. I really don't think that's the right thing. Somebody's sneaking in it. I was like, why you do that? I know. It's like somebody saying, you know what? Secret camera, with a microphone, and when we record what's being said in the huddle. We silly things like that. Well, I mean that's sacred. You just don't do that. Anything that starts in the dressing room, we see it a lot now. Don't do it. Keep it private. Let it remain a mystery. What's being said? I'll say. So it keeps it special in my opinion nowadays. And everybody with the mobile phones it's a bit too much. But you can do good things with it. Don't get me wrong. But I think to promote yourself for things, yes, it's good. But I think things the way it is going now, I think we spoke about it before. But if you want to show footage of, let's say, a trick that you've been practicing on level, I said, look, that's brilliant. Look, that thing makes it look so easy. He says, you know how many hours I spent failing on this one? And I think that part, that's what especially the youngsters need to see. Because nowadays, they don't know. They don't know how to fix things, in my opinion. They don't know how to fix things. They don't know what it's, they don't want to go into it. I can talk long and hard about this. If I do my training session, and then we're on the pitch, and I just first meet this boy, and I speak to the parents, I say, have a ball, go and dribble. And they go, look at me. Huh? Just pretend you're out there on a square, just you and a ball. Go play. Be creative. Imagination, be free. I can straight away tell what kind of player I'm dealing with, and kind of also the personality. Then I see what he does, and I go, okay. Doesn't know what to do. Back then, nowadays, fine. We do. Why? Because we didn't have much. We didn't have many options. So because you restricted yourself with the options that we were given, you had to do something. Think outside the box. Be creative. Now have everything. They all have an option for some replacement or no. That's hard. Okay, something to back this up. There's too much in my opinion. There's too much support for them. Too much. Absolutely too much. Clean their own boots. They don't do they clean their own boots anymore. Really simple about it. Things like that. So I mean, the manners and stuff for that. I think that goes a long way. There's a certain way you have to do things. And be respectful and humble. And so you play well. It's good. But keep your feet on the ground, because the moment comes, that is just away. And then when people then still say, but he was the guy with apart from everything else, you done a good thing. That's all that I know the day that's all that matters. There are always going to be people and players that are going to do more than anybody else. It's not that kind of competition. I just want to make sure I've done my bit. I'll try to be the best person I can be to anyone. And so when the moment comes that we dash, say no, it was alright. I only played 2 good games for Celtic, but that's alright. I'll take that anytime. You know what I mean?
But just going back to Celtic though, Bobby, what was that more like for you when you won your first league title with Celtic? And that must have been a proud moment as well, where you've been like, I've been through so much, and and this is the reward I get. Like, it must have been a real special moment for you.
Yeah, it was special, and but also in a way it's kind of like, I can't believe it actually happened. In a way, you expect it in a way, because throughout my career I've always kind of been up there with competing for titles and stuff for the team. So then finally, I know it's weird. You're not far away now. You're back to it. Celtic, now you're winning ways again. It's part of it. You know it's going to happen when it happens. It feels special, especially with a group of players and what they've experienced before. But somebody had to remind me, Bobby, you won the treble, eh? I'll go, I swear it did. I'm highlighting this because I just want to say I'm not keeping myself that busy. with, well, I've done this, because we will move on to the next step, the next game, and afterwards I go, oh, it's like that. And then I would say a lot of the players, especially from maybe from the continent, not really too much focused on winning the prizes as such. What about the next one? What's the next? It's gone now. But then you look back and you go, so, but
Yeah, I've done all that.
so I did. Hey, I just feel, I don't know, I forgot about it. So there's a way. Well, that moment I saw pictures. I wish there was more pictures out there, just for me to kind of look back and think back and feel that moment again. Where after that, a tough first year for me, to be the winning ways, to win the treble. And I would say to people in previous outings that I'm very kind of how I turn things around. I'm happy I experienced tough times with Celtic first, because it made me really appreciate the good times. I said no progress without no progress without struggle, but the better to go through it and to make things going well for you with the other players. That is not easy, but it's possible. And to be able to realize that actually to do it, I see the joy in everybody else's faces, because you share a journey, you share that moment, and that can never be taken away from you. I think I think Henrik Larsson said it well, one of his speeches. He says if you go out there to perform, because the people that are in the stadium, they come here to see us, and you want to leave something behind, and they go home with a good feeling. But this is. I was speaking to a friend of mine about it, and I thought to myself, that is actually, it kind of sank in a bit deeper. I'm a bit deeper nowadays with things. I think about things a lot more. But the fact that, as I said, performance musicians, right? Being in the public eye, being criticized, but they do it for the love of what they do. They don't do it for riches and finesse. It's not. That's a pure form of busking, as I say, performing. So when we do it because we love the sport of football. I think Henrik said it in the last outing. I think with Gary Neville or so. Money was in the driving force. You want to play football. You want to be a successful person. And what does that mean? You want to win trophies. You want to win championships. You want to play at the highest level. Good league, good competition. That's what you want to know. Yes, being top scorer, it's a motive. But the point is, I want to win as a team, collective. And you want to do that. That's the most important thing. It's not money. And money was great, but it was more the football. Because at the end of the day, then you look at, okay, hey, which teams did you have you played for? But more importantly, the memories I have, every player in the past have left behind with the clubs they played for. And that to me is, so for me, I'm part of the Celtic family, and which was also something I didn't really sink in until 2017 when I was in Vegas. Because I always say, but when I was there with the fans, it was really special. Really, it was overwhelming. And then I felt the energy and being with all the Celtic fans. I realized, yes, but I know what Celtic stands for, and I know what it means to all the people around the world. Also the other side of it, not just what happens, but the other side. I said it all with the songs that we sang and stuff like that. Because my background is also that we were, in part coming from Indonesia, Moluccan Islands, and we were under the Dutch rule. So we were also kind of like oppressed, so kind of know what it's like, and against the oppressor, I know that. I also know where but this is a bit important with my background, is where my grandparents fought for the Dutch kind of army up there in the Far East, and I gave the blood, sweat, and tears. They done some horrible things, just for the Dutch government and its monarchy and so. But then they give Indonesia back to their own to rule themselves. So Merit had to go over to Holland, and had to form a life there. Being put in old concentration camps, they were empty because it was supposed to be a short period of time. Stayed here since 51. 9 or something boats came over, full of families. Yeah. And this is how, after all these years, integrated within the society, which wasn't intended, but that's what happened. And this is where my background comes from. So we might be small in nature, but we have a bit of fight in us as well. Giovanni is the same thing. We had other player, good mate, Simon Tamada also. He's the original kind of from our background, who made it as a professional football player. Played for Ajax, played for Feyenoord, played in Belgium a lot. And so the history of a player, the history of football clubs, how it looks Celtic and Feyenoord, what the club stands for. Now, my background from my family side, from my background from my race, there's also pressure. You kind of understand the songs that are being said, and I hear it. Then you play in Scotland. Now Scotland, you have your Braveheart. So in the Moluccan Islands we have two. And there's a guy called Thomas Matalessi. Now my family name is Matalessi. We come from that village, but also from this line. There's a called Patimura. He's a freedom fighter. He's the first rebellion to beat the Dutch. Him, because they were fighting for nutmeg. He's a Scot. But I'm sorry, but so there's a fight in me, and upswings, and that's why we came. So how sports can connect people, that can also help the clubs. How the background can connect. So you understanding what the club stands for, and obviously people. I hear, and that's so beautiful. It's not just a club, and Celtic is a big club. It's a club like no other, and it is having seen 4 times now the Celtic convention in Vegas, see all the people there. But it's special because not many fans can organize this, and that is special. That shows you how the support it has all over the world, and and that I will always cherish for the rest of my life. Take it with me anywhere I go. That's just weird when it just. Even back in Holland. Holland's a bit different, but in terms of that was back in the days. But there's respect, but we kind of like sober about it. It's done. It's history. It's okay. But here, take a picture and this and that. So look, it's humbling, but that's ages ago, man. This is 26 years ago.
No, but just shows your impact. Yeah, I don't know a lot of people as well were excited.
That's exactly it. So how we fun. Thomas, fuck my shoulders. Yeah, it was good. Because I don't stand still as much on occasions, but then the fans that come over, I don't want to hear it. And I have to relive the moment. I wouldn't change that. And then that just shows you I've done something. Look at it from another one. I still remember us, and I still talk about those good times. Yeah, I done something good. And that to me means a lot more. Whether it's 1, 2 games, when it's 3, 5, 10 seasons, play brilliantly. They leave something on people's memory. They always feel remember that day. I remember that game. Yeah, that to me is those moments in life. Those moments in life where, you can't take that away from people. Take everything else. You can't take that away from me. You know what I mean?
No, you're spot on.
On Bobby. Things have changed a lot though in my life. A lot.
Yeah. But overall though, when you look back at your career, how would you sum it up?
In all honesty, is the regrets? Yes. Have I got the most out of my career? I could have done more. Listen, I could have done more. In all honesty, wasn't to be. But I could have. There was more that I could have done, and there was maybe certain things under my control, not under my control, that didn't work out. But I'm a person that takes gambles. I like to take the risk. Didn't work out. But that's just being honest. I've done what I could with all that. But if I was able to just was a bit more selfish on certain bits, then maybe I I wouldn't be sitting here, I wouldn't be living here, for instance. But that's just it's just the way it is. I can't. So when you say you could flex away, hey, but personally, I could have done it. There was more in there, and I mean it, huh? So happy with what I've done, but in another way, I'm not happy enough, and I'm being really honest about
The standards as well. Like you want the best, yeah.
Yeah. I want the best, and I maybe can you say you let yourself down. I wish I was strong and shit another bit, and that's just being being honest, as honest as I possibly can. But it is what it is. Continue around. Is it good? Yeah, it's still good, but I they're still there. I don't dwell on it too much, but you asked me the question, and I'm being honest. I could have done more. However, I still done what I did. I still people know me for my football and the stuff that I've done. So yeah, that makes up for it. I would say.
Definitely, Bobby. And just to finish off, I ask everyone comes on the podcast this question: who's better, Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi?
Sure, Messi. For me, Messi all day long. That's a no-brainer for me. I know there's different opinions about it, but I think anybody that kind of goes for Ronaldo knows. Okay, so he's quite self-centered. Messi is more team. Even though he's selfish, but he works hard. Ronaldo, extremely hard, professional, discipline, machine. That's the word's machine. You got Messi, who is just a young kid. He's a slight form of autism. But this place makes things work. Picks things up. He's not on the end of things like Ronaldo is. Had to change his game, of course. But Messi sits, drops, and he's more involved. So I like a number 10. So Messi is number 10. So therefore he's number 1. Ronaldo is not a number 10. He's a number 9. So.
Fair enough, Bobby. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching the show, guys. And as always, thank you very much to Fullbacks for letting us do the podcast here, and to Leo and Scott for the fantastic close. But until next time, take care and we'll see you soon. Cheers.